What's good, everybody? What's going on, everybody? This is the 401 Talk Zone radio show. I am your host, Leon Jones. You can hear me on my blog talk radio show every Saturday from 12 to 2, where we're going to discuss some powerful issues. The call-in number is 215-383-5785. That's 215-383-5785. You have a topic you want me to talk about, you can email me at lej6521@gmail.com. That's lej6521@gmail.com. I'm also the owner of Quality Control Inspection Services Incorporated. We're located in Valparaiso, Indiana. We're an engineering firm, a civil engineering firm. We offer construction management services, construction inspection services. We also offer infrastructure engineering services. We're DBE certified. We're currently working on getting our veteran business enterprise certified and minority business enterprise certified. You can check my email at leon.jones@qc-inspection-services.com. That's leon.jones@qc-inspection-services.com. I am the owner, Leon Jones, of Quality Control Inspection Services Incorporated. You can also check out my website at www.qc-inspection-services.com. We are an S corporation, and we do serve your construction needs. Now, let's get into the topic. It's political season. Both conventions have now ended. We already know who our nominees are. Donald Trump for the Republicans and Hillary Clinton for the Democrats. It's going to be an unusual election because we need the right person in there, because we need a Supreme Court justice. Justice Scalia, who was a brilliant man, passed away last year. So now, depending on the right person, hopefully we put somebody in there that's not very liberal. I'm not a liberal guy. I see myself, when it comes to politics, very centrist to right. Now, the reason why I am positioning myself center to the right, because I still believe in traditional values. I was a Democrat. The problem I see with the Democratic Party is they've gone way left. They want an egalitarian society. I'm going to tell you all, equality has never existed. It will never exist. They want a socialist system to where we're going to have redistribution of wealth. Again, redistribution of wealth. That's not going to work either, because everybody will be equally as miserable. Now, let me tell you what my version of equality is. It's equal opportunity, not equal outcomes. And I caution anybody to go and vote on emotion. Now, let me break down the 3 levels of government. We're supposed to have checks and balances. We have your executive, that's your president. We have your Supreme Court, which is the highest court in the land. They're your judicial branch, and then we have your legislative branch. What individuals have to understand, no matter who we elect as president, the president is a figurehead. I want you all to remember, we have a parliamentary style government, just as in England, where you have the Prime Minister, then you have the House of Commons, the House of Lords. It's just like your House of Representatives and your Senate and your President. I want everybody to be mindful of the issues. Many of us today do not understand the political arena. In fact, the problem with politics, it's become an oligarchy. And what do I mean by an oligarchy? Oligarchy means for the rich, by the rich. So if you look at the political climate in the United States today, it's the government and the corporations who are running the country. Does the top 1% run the country? That's debatable. But we know the top 1% pays the most taxes. The bottom pay almost no taxes. Now, what do we want out of this election? I'm a business owner. One of the things I can tell you is that we have the highest corporate tax rate. 40%. That's outrageous. What I would urge the government to do is reduce the corporate tax rate to 10%, 15%. If any company decided to leave this country, okay, they can leave. But if you want to sell the product that you made in another country back to us, we need to sock at least a 50 to 60% tariff on you before you can sell the product back. Because you're going over to these other countries for cheap labor and you want to sell us the goods and services at a higher price than the resources that you obtain from the other countries. So my opinion is you should have stayed here. Japan did something really, really smart with the Toyota plants. See, what Japan did, they put Toyota plants over here, and they sold their cars here in the 80s because President Reagan slapped a huge 50% tariff for the foreign parts, the foreign cars. Now, why is this important to us Americans? Because everyday working folks have to live by the regulations that government sets aside. I just believe that we have too much government involved in our lives. If you look at the climate, First Amendment speech, it's under attack. I did a blog talk radio show 2 weeks ago regarding political correctness. Political correctness is now the new truth. In other words, we have flipped everything upside down to where we have to allow the tail to wag the dog. Does that make sense? Absolutely not. Used to be the majority rules in this country. Doesn't seem like it makes sense. We still have programs like affirmative action, which in its heyday, it was a good program. Do we really need affirmative action? It depends. As long as we use it in the right context and we don't use it for racial quotas, because I believe in working. If I'm going to hire somebody, I want the best candidate for the job. I don't want to hire somebody because they're black, they're a woman, they're homosexual. My company is in business to make money. Now, dealing with businesses, I think businesses need to be a little bit more cognizant about their employees. I used to work for a company called PennDOT. It's a state organization. The problem that you have working for any big organization is that you have a lot of politics, office politics. Certain individuals are getting promoted for no reason. But that's politics. But if you're not understanding of politics, you're going to have a hard time in a job, on a job, even at college. Let's look at the two parties. It was up until the 1960s, the Lyndon Baines Johnson era, that the Democratic Party was the party that had all the money, and the Republican Party was the more liberal type party. And prior to that, you had the Whig Party. Whig Party didn't last that long. Also believe back in the 1910s, when you had it was Theodore Roosevelt, Woodrow Wilson, they wanted to form their own party. In fact, Woodrow Wilson was a Republican, but he was more of a socialist type of Republican. He wanted his own party. That never panned out. You also had with politics the prohibition of the 1920s. You had the stock market crash of the 1920s. The political climate has always been important. But what I'm trying to get individuals to do is understand how it works. If you want an issue passed, you must have organization, finance, and money. This is how the gays got their legislation passed with marriage. You also must have individuals who are seeking that same policy in power. So you have a lot of gay judges, particularly of the Fifth Circuit Court, the Ninth Circuit Court. They're going to tell you that marriage between a man and a woman is unconstitutional because they found a loophole in the Constitution. I just believe that this two-party system, I call it the Democrats and Republicans, it's outdated. I look at Canadian elections. They have different parties debating. One big problem with the political climate in this country is we have too much money going into it. A lot of consultants. It's good business if you could become part of that industry. But the politicians don't listen to the people. We're supposed to have representative government. And I want to tell everybody, so we don't run into the 2000 election with George Bush and Al Gore. Yes, we still have the popular vote. However, the popular vote doesn't win the presidency. It's the electoral college. You need 270 electoral college votes. It's the problem that we had in 2000. Al Gore won the popular vote. President Bush won the electoral college. The electoral college is what wins it all for the presidency. Before you individuals get out to vote, make sure you check the politician's record. Make sure you know what you're voting for. I vote with my pocket. I'm a businessman. Bringing home more money and less taxes is extremely important to me. Less government regulations. You look at the Keystone Pipeline, that could have been more oil instead of us getting oil from foreign sources. To keep our gas prices down. There hasn't been another oil refinery built or expanded since 1976. We have too much regulation. Now, let me give you my thought before I close this video out. I believe that President Obama, he's a respectable person. I don't agree with his politics. To me, he's too radical, and as a black man, he's done nothing for black people. Just because you look like me doesn't mean you're my brother. He's very charismatic. But as far as understanding the political climate, he was a senator from Illinois. I don't know any great bill that he passed. He came into Congress, in the Senate, and was preparing to run for president. Okay, it was a good moment while it lasted, but this election is very, very, very important. Do we want more social engineering, or do we want jobs? Government does not create jobs unless you work for the government. The people create jobs. but you have to have a government that believes in the economy. And I don't believe this government is very efficient with the economy. Because if people don't invest their money, they can't hire people to work. Going back to the two-party system, we need more parties. The two-party system is dead, folks. If you look at the situation, the Democrats and Republicans, they give you this idea that they're not friends, but once you get outside the political arena, they're your biggest friends. Biggest friends of evil. They're not on our side. So I want you folks to study your candidate and also study your local elections, because it's going to affect how you live. I want to thank everybody for watching this video. Once again, this is a 411 Talk Zone radio show. You can catch my Blog Talk radio show every Saturday from 12 to 2. Call-in number is 215-383-5785, 215-383-5785. If you want to send me a list of topics, email my Gmail account at lej6521@gmail.com. That's lej6521@gmail.com. I'm also the owner of Quality Control Inspection Services, which we are an engineering firm. Our services are construction management, construction inspection, and infrastructure engineering inspection. If you want more information on my company, check out my website at www.qc-inspection-services.com. You can also email me at leon.jones@qc-inspection-services.com. And folks, I am working on getting better equipment using my phone right now, but I'm still going to put the best content out that's going to educate you. So as always, I'm going to put more content. It's going to be better than ever. We got technical content, educational content, military content. So I want you to keep in tune to the 411 Talk Zone radio show. I'm Leon Jones, signing off. Have a good night.